oftentimes bad. So it's at that point where I can't necessarily expect the world from so many places. But if there is one place out there that for the most part has either met or even exceeded expectations with regularity for the most part, it's been Chick-fil-A. And for those of you who are longtime viewers of the channel,
Chick-fil-A is good. Last time I had Chick-fil-A was like 2021. And it was good. And I think it's the best fast food chain, isn't it? The best like fast food chicken, best fries, best chicken sandwich.
I've made it no secret that it's one of my favorite places out there. And the reason why it's one of my favorite fast food chains out there is because they're one of the few, at least up until now, that actually did a consistently good job as far as the quality of their food is
True. That's what I was mentioning. True.
concerned. I remember back in 2019, I think it was, when I did my fast food tier list, the highest tier, right, the establishment at the highest tier was Chick-fil-A. They were, I think, the best fast food chain, in my opinion. And a lot of their latest releases, and Grant.
I don't know. Those fries seem kind of bland though. Like they don't have any color. I don't know if it's if he color graded the video or something, but those fries, they just don't seem too appetizing. It's like they don't have any color.
They don't release a ton of food, but their latest releases, for instance, the pimento chicken sandwich, and I think there was another one that they released last year too, those both got scores that were in, I think, the 9 out of 10 range. So they do a consistently good job. That's what I'm trying to say. And there's very few places that are able to do that these days. Like I said, as I think all of you know, watching this, so many times nowadays the quality, it's being driven into the ground everywhere.
It's true. Fast food is not the same as it used to be. Some places are better than others, but most of them, it's just bad. The food is always cold. It's always like you're eating trash.
And the price is just shooting up, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating as a reviewer.
It's true. The prices are crazy in these fast food places nowadays.
And a consumer, and I see that sentiment in the comments all the time, so I know I'm not alone in this. So, the reason why, again, I always liked Chick-fil-A is because they were one of the few that was bucking the trend, essentially. They were one of the few that didn't seem to be sacrificing the quality of their product, despite everything else that was going on and what every other chain out there seemed to be doing. So
I like the lettuce they put in their sandwiches. Like the lettuce in Chick-fil-A is pretty good.
This sort of hurts, in a way, when one of the last holdouts that had a good thing going completely ruined it. It's frustrating. It's just like I said, it's not anger, it's just disappointment. It's something that you hate to see it this way, right?
Oh man,
I think you understand that sentiment. That's where it's coming
from. That's
a
I hate bad feeling when you're disappointed.
I certainly hope that they reconsider their decision. They won't, mind you. None of these places ever do. But in some sort of dream reality, it sure would be nice if they did. And I know I'm not alone in this sentiment either. What happened with their fries? So I'll give you the story on my end, how I came to discover this. Because outside of these reviews, I actually do eat food, and one place that I will frequent is Chick-fil-A for the obvious reasons that I stated, because I'm pretty much guaranteed a good meal. So a couple weeks ago, got a meal from Chick-fil-A, went ahead, got a Chick-fil-A sandwich, I think I added some bacon, got a drink.
I want to see him actually eat the fries. He's taking a long time. Let's see.
Crispy, so there goes that whole narrative. Personally, I don't really want fries. You look at them.
Let's see.
They don't really look like there's much wrong with them.
It's not even full.
And
It's not even full. Look, it's like a little bit above halfway.
looks can be deceiving, and that's another sad aspect
They look so thin too. Like,
of this. The fact that they don't really look like they have any problems with them, yet these have to be the worst fries I've ever had from Chick-fil-A
the worst fries he's ever had. Oh, but he said from Chick-fil-A. That's the.
anyway.
Wow, that's bad. The worst fries you've ever had from Chick-fil-A? That's bad. Chick-fil-A, you're down bad.
So, alright, what's so wrong with them? Well, let's find out.
No way. Yo, it's not even crunchy. It's just, he just bit him like it was, like there's no sound when you bite those fries. They're probably soggy. It's just not appetizing. That's not, when you bite a fry, you want to make sure you hear the crunch, you know? And wow, you can't even hear the crunch. That's so sad.
Number one, they're not overly crispy, so there goes that whole narrative.
Right.
Personally, I don't really want fries that are super crispy anyway. I felt like the texture that they had going is good enough, where, there's a degree of firmness and at least a little bit of a crisp, structure, but it doesn't need to be like,
there's no crisp.
Break your teeth or anything.
Just zero crisp. Look at that. They're gummy. There's zero crisp to them. Wow.
No, all the life essentially is just sucked right out of these fries.
It's lifeless.
They're flavorless. They almost taste, it's like cardboard, for lack of a better word.
It's like McDonald's fries. McDonald's fries, they've never been crispy. If you think about it, McDonald's, every time you bite a fry, it's never crunchy. It's just softness, sogginess, zero crisp.
They're dry. They're flavorless. They sort of have this, it's so weird, where it's like there's this artificially firm consistency on the outside, and then it's just this flavorless mush on the inside. It's like...
It's true. They look crunchy, but when you bite them, they're not. It's just fake crunch.
A cardboard encapsulation, then was just this flavorless, not quite powdery, it's not that bad, but flavorless, almost sort of, it has a dry quality to it also.
No flavor?
Maybe it's slight oiliness, just mush. It tastes like, here's one thing that it reminds me of. It reminds me of like very cheap frozen fries that have just been like sitting in a freezer for a year longer than they ought to have been. That's just stale and freezer burned. And the quality of these is just abysmal. It really is.
Abysmal.
And it's such a shame, too, because for a while, these are actually some of my favorite...
It's a true shame. Like, Chick-fil-A was the best, and now they're the worst.
Fast food fries. As a matter of fact, you could go ahead and watch a video that I did, and maybe I'll link it in the description. Back in 2021, I did a review of all the various fries, from fast food places, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, etc. And you know what came out as number one? Chick-fil-A. And for good reason.
Chick-fil-A.
And just a month or two ago.
That's around the time I had Chick-fil-A, back in 2021. And I remember it being good. I remember the lettuce. They had good lettuce. It was like real lettuce. Like the lettuce is different than any other food place out there, in my opinion. I mean, it was. I don't know how it is now. I don't know if it's shredded like it is in McDonald's chicken sandwich.
ago, quality of these was so much better. So part of me finds it hard to believe that just some fibers from peas can take such a good thing and drive it into the ground as greatly as they did. I mean, if that's the case, it is what it is. But back then, I mean, it used to just be so much better than what it is now. They used to actually be flavorful. The texture was perfect. And like I said, another reason, they say that they did this to improve the crisp, to make them more crispy. Now, granted, I'm sure
what would they said they did something to improve the crispiness, but they made them less crispy. What?
there are people out there who have complained about the texture of them, but never really once have I seen any sort of organized mass.
They need to take these fries back to the lab and come up with a new equation, you know, on how to build and manufacture lab fries. Like, these are just straight out of a lab.
Feedback, at least in the comments and everything that I peruse on this channel, talking about the Chic-Fil-A fries and how they need to be so much crispier, and never once have I even seen that. Part of me fears that this is just another instant I am making, but I really hope that that's not the case. I hope that this is just an instance wherein it's just a misguided approach that just was poorly executed, which I hope could be rectified. Because before this, like I said, they were so much better, they were flavorful, texture was great.
Yeah, I remember they were so good. A lot of texture, a lot of crunch, good flavor. But looking at this, it's like, what happened? What happened?
Saltiness, they didn't taste stale, they didn't taste dry, and there were no problems with them. There was nothing wrong with the fries before this. And now, they took a good thing and ruined it, and then they claim that it's just under the guise of making it better for everyone else. And
that's what they always do.
Supposed to be a good thing.
They always do that. They're always like, all right, we're gonna make it better, but they just make them worse.